Hello everyone in Sharpened Word. Today we have our guest here today, Regina Ibrahim from Penang.
Hi there.
Welcome Regina, welcome to Sharpened Word.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so we're going to have as usual, the one-to-one session with our guest here, who is going to share with us her knowledge, her wisdom, and hopefully her piece of advice. Now Regina, before we go delve on further, let's talk about a bit about your background. We understand that you have gone through various stages in your life, and maybe you would like to share with us how this has transformed you as you move on, in these stages.
Well, first and foremost, let me thank Sharpened Word for inviting me here. Coming back to Ipoh is a real going through memory lane because I basically grew up here, gaining so much experience about life here in Ipoh way back in 1981 until 1983 when Ipoh was so subtle, life was so good, and enjoyment was very limited, but we managed to lead a very happy life. I was a student at Politeknik Ungku Omar doing business studies, and at the same time, knowing that RTM is just nearby, so I'll just cross over, do some audition, and I managed to record a few radio programs there. I'm a vocalist. And that's the whole reason why when up to this level, when people ask me, what is your job? I actually do not know how to answer that. So I'll tell them I'm a holistic artist, whereby I get myself involved with lots of artwork, doing some paintings, do some writing, and I also sing, I MC on stage, I do jokes, I cook, and of course I have sex. All right.
Okay. So in Ipoh, you were that's the start of you being exposed to art and literary world. Can we say that?
More or less, yes. You were invited to RTM. You were so young. You were so eager. So you start figuring out. It is also my formative year of getting to understand myself. Hanging around with some transgender people in Ipoh. Every weekend I really look forward to go to the old post office to meet them, to talk with them, to discover more, and we'll walk to the railway station where food is in abundance. That's the place where we get our fake cassette, buying this and that, and living up life in Ipoh. Yeah, it's more or less like that.
I'll come back to that stage, to that part later, as you move on. But what happened after Ipoh? Where did you go?
After Ipoh, Malaysia was suffering economic downturn. Yeah, so I have to continue my diploma in education, and from there I started becoming a teacher in Kelantan. They posted me to Kelantan, but my art activities does not stop. Even in Kelantan those days was really vibrant as well. I'll be teaching in the daytime, I'll be singing at night. But I was not a happy person. I was not a happy soul. I get up in the morning thinking that, oh my God, was it just a bad dream? Me living in Kota Baru, teaching in Pangkalan Cepa. I enjoy the teaching part. But I just don't enjoy the surrounding in Kota Baru, Kelantan. No, then I quit Kelantan after 3 years and 6 months and moved back to Penang. And during that time, Malaysia was still not good when it comes to finding jobs. Job is not easily accessed for a girl like me. For a trans woman like me, it's very difficult. So what I do is I just sacrifice a little bit. I just cut my hair, wear male attire, and apply for a job in Brunei. Yeah. So again, I was back to teaching profession, teaching commercial studies at Sultan Omar Ali Saifuddin College there for another 3 years and 6 months, just to make sure that I have some money to be contributed to my family, because I'm from a very traditional family where you have to contribute, because I have 6 sisters below me. They have yet to complete their education. So from then on, right after my younger sister got married and settled, when she completed her studies, okay, so I said, it's time for me to put a stop there and start concentrating to myself. Even though some people suggested that it was rather late, it was quite old. No, from then on, I started dwelling with art on a very serious basis.
How long has it been since then?
Well, I don't count, but I think it's more than 20 years. More than 20 years. I'm not 25 anymore.
You look like one.
Yeah. Well, currently I am 52 years old. 52 years old. Yes. Yeah.
But you have a heart of 25.
Well,
You're so active in various things. Being a holistic artist.
Well, to live in this current situation, I think you might as well feel young and have a young heart. Yeah. It's an advantage.
Now back to this, your early days when you are, mixing up with the transgender people, and then how has it, in terms of I understand that you have a part of where you have to go through a soul searching to finally define yourself who you actually are and come out from that.
I think each one of us transgender people face the same predicament when you are teenagers. You thought it's just only a phase, a phase that soon it will fade and you will be given a chance to lead life like any other ordinary people. But sadly, no. Once you are a transgender, you are a transgender. That can never be erased from your body and soul. So from these people, I learned that it's not easy. Some of them are just being despised by family members. Some of them got a hard time finding jobs. Some of them have to resort to sex work, and some of them who are not so lucky got entangled with another boyfriend or so-called husband who's drug addicts, and they got themselves involved as well. So I think that's very sad. So in my case, I am lucky enough to be given an exposure very early in my life. So I started picking up all the traits that I like and traits I dislike. So I carry on until I started living up life as a trans woman 24/7, and I always tell myself that I have to do better. I have to do better, and when I feel secure, then only I started doing some advocacy work among transgender people around me, and it's not an easy job, definitely. Yeah.
Okay. So when you were starting your career in the arts, especially in terms of in your writing, so is that subject that, because of what is very close to you, that you decided that this should be something that I should advocate about in my writings, in my artwork, and then until today, is there something that you have a special mission that you say, this is something I would like to share with the people because I am, one of them?
It's more of expressing yourself. What is best for you to express yourself? I got three things with me. First, write something that you love. Secondly, write about things that you hate. Explain it, and thirdly, be passionate about whatever you do. Be passionate with whatever you do, and always have in mind that there will be readers and they'll be judging you. So get ready for it. So these are the three things that I hold on to. At the same time, in my third category, I always tell myself, write something that is not available in the market. Same goes with painting. You do not want to be painting birds and everything. Something which is already there. You want to paint something with emotion. You want to tell story. So more or less, that covers the part where you call yourself a storyteller. They will always, my product will always have a story to tell. There will always be story to tell, And I think if that's when you look at a beautiful painting with no story, you'll wonder yourself, what do I get from this object? Nothing. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to leave the book part later in the afternoon. But let's talk about, because I understand that you have various solo exhibition. Starting from the early 2000s. And the last one was in the Georgetown Art Festival in 2014. Maybe can you share with us what that solo exhibitions are all about? What kind of stories are you telling?
For anyone who paint seriously and started selling their painting, definitely they would want to have a solo exhibition where they can showcase their talent, their expression, their emotion. I myself don't believe that will happen to me. I've been painting. I guess I started painting as a self-therapy when I started staying alone in Penang. I started staying alone in Penang. I have enough space for me to paint. I wanted to paint in using oil and canvas, but oil is impossible for a rented house like that. It'd be very smelly, it'd be very messy. So my medium is just acrylic and canvas. Sometimes acrylic on wood. So I started painting. And one day one of these this guy paid me a visit. For another project, for another art project, and he said, I don't know that you paint, and it started from there. That is Mr. Josie Day, the godfather of art in Penang, so he's the one who arranged my first solo exhibition at Ching Lotus, where I couldn't believe that, all of these half-naked women can be on the wall, being showcased to Penangite, and thank God it's a private gallery. But then again, it was a very successful first solo exhibition, and we continue to do with another year, and finally it was for Georgetown Festival year 2014. I was given a space for me to showcase my indigo work, where we deal with lots of blue hues. So that's about my I still paint nowadays. Since I started writing, painting will take about let's say when I completed one novel, one manuscript, then I'll start painting. Then when I finish that particular painting, maybe 4 or 5 pieces, then I'll continue writing, and it goes on back and forth like that.
So you're not ignoring your fine work as well, fine art as well. When it comes to writing or even creating your artwork visually, how do you manage your creativity? Can you share with us how do you manage it? What inspires you apart from being your personal life experience? Are there any other secret formulas that you have?
Inspiration to produce my work. I as a trans woman, I'm very tactful with that. I do not want to be really onto your face. Okay, I'm a trans woman or something like that. No, I think once you consider yourself as an artist, you have this responsibility to absorb whatever around you, anything that you feel close to your heart, any issues that you wanted to complain, you wanted to uphold, you wanted to praise, all has to be taken into account. When I first do my painting, my concentration is to female issues, women at work, women and their predicament in life, something that I absorb from all the women that I've grown up with. My mother, my auntie, and all this sad news that I read about female. So everything is being put into my first solo exhibition. We talk a lot about female relation, female hopes and dreams, female burden, of how female can contribute towards the growth of the nation.
But during those days, were you confronted by people, saying that your work is a bit too biased? Or
this sort of situation will occur to anyone. When we produce something, there'll be, let's say, 10 people who dislike your painting, and maybe 2 or 3 of them who really adore you. I think that's good enough. That's good enough. But you have to like yourself first, no matter what. As an artist, you have to like what you do first. Because as an artist, when you produce something that you like, I think it will contribute a certain energy in your body, mind, and soul to produce another work. To take it to another level. If you dislike your own work, I don't know what will happen. And in my case, I think I'm in love with most of my work.
And I think that is basically continues to inspire you with coming up with new artwork, new writing.
Right, definitely. Everything, even something simple, like a toilet cleaner, a punk boy on the street. I mean, these are elements that you can take into account when you do your artwork. Art does not mean something soothing and nice only. I always believe that when you are an artist, you have to worship freedom. Freedom of your own feeling, freedom of expression, freedom of appreciating other people's opinions. So I mean, freedom in a wider term, more or less. Yeah.
So can I say that safely assume that you have not encountered any bottlenecks before in your creative element of your work?
Bottleneck meaning all of this obstacle. Hardly. I will always have things to do, ideas, and then there'll come another element that will become an obstacle. Like, let's say, sometimes canvas is too expensive. Sometimes the space is not good enough for you to do a bigger size or a piece. So that's the only thing. But inspiration, as far as I'm concerned, I think I absorb everything quite well. I absorb everything quite well. In that sense, I'm very proud of myself. Not lacking of ideas when I want to paint, when I want to write. Nothing. Or maybe I'm not a serious artist. Where some serious artists, they will say, okay, they have mental block. They'll have a 1 year sabbatical leave for themselves. It does not happen to me. I will always have things to do, because I think I look at my life, my surrounding as an art. Even in the kitchen when you cook, I think there's a certain element of art that you have to put in. Not only for the food to taste good. It's another therapy for yourself. I guess for a person like me, who have encountered so many difficulties in life, identifying myself, embracing myself when I was younger, being confused, I think most of my action now is more on therapy basis. I just want to make myself happy. Playing with colors make me happy. Concocting and some ideas make me happy. Meeting new people to be inspired makes me happy. So I guess I'm in a very safe zone.
Yes, you are. Regina, you are such a colorful person. I think you will be never short of ideas. To share with people, to come up with ideas. But along the way, for 20 years now, since you have been going to this path, have you faced any fears? Do you have any fears in you?
No, because I think the 20 years earlier on, you already have enough of fears. You are afraid that people might not accept you. You are afraid that your family might despise you. You are afraid that you'll end up having no friends. But along the way, this is not a matter of someone becoming stronger. It's a matter of you finding the meaning of life. I've come to a point where acceptance doesn't mean anything to me anymore. I would just want tolerance. As much as I can tolerate you, please tolerate me. And I think I got it. Along the way. And when I was 30 something, I think when I was when I was first jilted by my love life, I learned a lot from there. I learned about how difficult it can be when it comes to human and human relationship. First you look at lovey-dovey matters, then slowly you look at how are you going to be dealing with human around you, layers of human behaviors, and slowly you learn with that, human can never be an easy specimen. So I think, okay, along the way, let's tolerate them, as much as you want them to tolerate you. Acceptance has never come into my mind. It has never been my something that I soldier. No, I don't soldier for acceptance. No, never.
So how long have you have to go through in order for you to reach the level and say, look, I think it is
I think I was
more like tolerance rather than accepted.
When I reach 40, for a trans woman like me, for any other cisgender girl, 40 is a very scary level to them. I was at first scared too, but then the minute I reached 40, when I look at myself into the mirror, I say, oh my God, not bad. So from there, I started, moving on, being braver, more vocal. Learn how to do a better speech, learn not how to hate people, to hurt anyone around me, So these are the things that you take into account. But by doing so, I always remind myself not to lose my personal essence. No, don't. I think I captured that quite well in my life, and by the time also when I was 42 years old, I've already completed my SRS, sexual reassignment surgery, and after that, I think I look at life with a better view, yeah. So because I've already have what I want to have, and I feel good, yeah.
We are very glad to hear that. So going forward, we know that you have written quite a number of books, short stories as well. So do you have any projects in mind for this year?
I've already completed 3 manuscripts submitted to publishers for year 2017. So now at the moment, I'm working something on LGBT, LGBT. But that's the only way how I can advocate through fictions, yeah. The one that I sent to Fixie was about a gay man who's very straight looking, who got involved in a straight profession, and he got a hard time dealing with himself because people just do not know what is his sexuality. So I just from there I started doing some what we call it, some discovery for gay people to understand, how they are supposed to move, what they need to respect, and at the end of the day they have to respect themselves, how they are supposed not to compromise with people who encourage them to cheat another soul, so that's my main aim. Also, I also address how gay Muslim need to move about in their life. It's quite a sensitive issue, and I think taboo definitely in our country, because everybody seems to be what we call it clerics on their own. So it's going to be another taboo piece. Even my debut Perjalanan was quite taboo. Not many people like it, but it was a bestseller because people are curious to know how this young transgender finding herself, deciding whether she's a real, whether she's a transvestite, whether she's a she-male, whether she's a trans woman. She wondered until she took the first action by going for top surgery and then started falling in love and dealing with herself, and get married till the end. But it's only fiction. But through fiction, I think I've done quite a few advocacy work where we talk a lot about sexual terms inside there. It can be very confusing when you talk about hormone replacement therapy, when you talk about SRS, when you talk about the difference between the community itself, the small community itself. What is a she-male? What is a transvestite? What is pondan? The term that is being used by Dewan Bahasa dan Pustaka. They approve to that, not knowing that it has various sub. Yeah.
There's nuances there.
Yeah, it's complicated, CP. This is complicated.
Well, life is only complicated because we make it to be.
If we want it to be complicated, then complicated it be. Yeah.
So I'm glad that people like you actually have come out from the open and tell us,
Thank you. I'm just doing a small bit part of mine,
We need you to be here, telling the people, what's going on, in your world. At least hear from you, because a lot of us will never go into that. Right. Or probably there's a lot of reasons for that, private or, because as you said, we are our own clerics, in defining what is right and what is wrong. Yeah.
Which is very sad.
Yeah.
Which is very sad.
So
Sometimes it is out of our own realization. We start imposing values. We wanted to sell it, and that's the whole reason why I keep telling all of these journalists who interviewed me, saying that my book is not about value selling. We are not selling any value. I am not selling any value. I am not recruiting any new trans woman. No, trans woman is not something that you recruit. It is something inside you, and for those who are being suppressed, you don't be surprised they will end up with some kind of mental illness and everything. I've seen it right before my eyes, and it's a sad thing to see. Yeah.
But that's also because they do not have the support, the necessary support
system.
To basically help them to go through this difficulty.
Deciding what is best for them. It is people mistakenly accused that people like me is encouraging all of these young trans women to go for their operations and everything. No, it is not necessary. What we want you to understand is the value inside you, who you are, how far have you embraced yourself, how far have you loved yourself, have you given yourself enough, because when you don't have enough, you can't be sharing your magic with other people. So that is my work. I think it's an ongoing process, and in my up and coming book there will always be a character of this kind of people, be it a gay man, a trans woman, a lesbian, who are being chipped inside there, so that when the public read, they say, oh, these people exist, because life is not like the Malay drama that we watch at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock on television. It's never like that, because the family member seems to be so perfect. Yeah.
The perfect world, everything at their disposal.
Right.
Yeah, true. So 3 manuscripts, are they all more or less relate to the LGBT community?
Not really. When I started my second book with Fixie, I make sure that that will be my foray into ordinary society, because I do not want to be labeled as LGBT writers, whatever it is, because I think I have a better mind than that, LGBT issues only be, I still write actively on Wattpad.com, the predicament of this mania, what are they doing, just to make themselves think, But then again, at the same time, I think cisgenders, they need some direction as well. Maybe when I write about ordinary folk, cisgender, what I mean is my perspective could be different than any other people. It could be a fresh perspective. Who knows? We never know. I'm just trying my luck, CP.
Never try, never know.
Yeah.
So 3 manuscripts, so you have a lot of artwork to catch up then.
Yes. I think after April, I'll be starting some new collection, because I think the one that is left in my room, somebody is coming to have a look, because they're gonna have another exhibition in Kuala Lumpur for charity purposes. That is charity purpose that is quite close to my heart. So I said no problem. Even all this while, I've contributed some of my pieces for charity purposes as well. Maybe some contribution to Pink Triangle Malaysia, and then any NGO that is dealing with HIV and AIDS. So I mean, I wouldn't mind to be parted with my pieces just because of that cause. No problem at all.
So do you have any upcoming solo exhibitions?
I hope so, because it's not easy. There are so many artists in Penang, who are looking for their fighting for space, So let the young one have it first. But in my case, if the arrangement is like that, it will be mine, definitely. It will be mine. I hope I'll come up with at least one solo exhibition somewhere in the year 2018.
In Penang?
Hopefully in Penang. Hopefully in Penang.
We can bring you here in Ipoh as well.
Well, why not? Why not?
Okay. So apart from writing, drawing, Is there any other new forays you would like to venture into in the coming years?
Well,
I know you do some emceeing jobs.
Yeah, emceeing jobs, singing,
arts, yeah.
and something that has stopped, that is my jewelry making. Jewelry making. I quite love that
the handicrafts,
that handicrafts and everything.
Yeah.
But that one demanded time.
Yes,
sometimes sometimes it's not as comfortable as sitting in front of a computer to type words and everything. But it's nice. Jewelry making is nice when you got a chance to select all these mineral stones, learning about them and making it, turning it into a nice art piece, Yeah.
Wow, interesting.
Very interesting, actually.
Is that something new, or you have been actually?
I stopped doing. I was quite active doing it, But the only thing is, before doing all of this costume jewelry, I love to wear them. I love to buy them, So I said to myself, why not learn how to do it by yourself? So in a very short span of time, I started gathering all the materials needed. And the moment I started selling them, I do not want to wear them. I said, wow, that's a very weird feeling that I discover about myself. It gets simpler now. As you age, it gets simpler. Yeah.
So you have so many things on your plate, and you're so talented, in so many areas.
I'm blessed.
So do you have any word of advice to our audience?
Well, as
people who would like to.
Nothing is too late. Yeah, nothing is too late in life. You can start doing it. Gather some good materials. If you were to write, gather some good materials. If you want to do good jewelry, gather some good materials as well. If you want to paint, you have to start discovering what you are supposed to do. It's the same thing, Start the moment you feel like you want to start anything. Don't care about age and everything. And bear in mind that my first debut, which happened to be bestseller, was released exactly when I was 50 years old. Imagine how long the wait is, But I don't wait for that, because I've been writing for the whole of my life. It's just that, I just want to get into the mainstream a little bit. Sometimes there's a kind of excitement getting into the mainstream, So when that thing is done, you can start proceeding doing something which is more serious, or maybe something that is more shock sendiri, close to your heart. Sometimes we artists, we have to shock sendiri also, CP. What else can we do? We have to feed our ego. We have to feed our soul, our emotion. If there's anyone who likes it, alhamdulillah. Yeah. If they don't like it, never mind. It will stay there.
So Regina, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for the inspiring session.
Thank you very much.
And on behalf of Sharpened Word, we wish you every success in your future undertakings. And if you need any support from us, just let us know, and we'll be here.
It was a real pleasure being here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Regina. And thank you, Sharpened Word. I will see you next time.